Hi there, and welcome to Aista Magic. So in this video, I'm going to show you the latest features related to AI-based software development. Here I have three cloudlets. You can create a new cloudlet here. This cloudlet here, my Tiger cloudlet. I've already configured OpenAI, but if you are just starting out with AI, then you go to MISC configuration, you click OpenAI, and you configure it with your OpenAI API key. You can get one here by clicking the here link, at which point you can just create new secret key here, and then you can reference that key up here. I've chosen 2000 as maximum amount of tokens and 0.5 in temperature or creativity. I also trained my model on DaVinci. We actually suggest you use Curie, but I wanted to try DaVinci, so that's why I'm doing that. And then you need to start hyperlambda training. This will take some 10, 15, 20 minutes before the model is finished trained, at which point you will get a notification up here. So anyways, let's try it out. Let's go to create, let's go to HyperID, let's expand, etc. Let's expand www. And let's delete all of this stuff. Let's empty. Actually, let's just delete the whole folder and recreate it again, etc. Let's create a new folder, www, and then let's create an index.html file inside of here. And I now have hello from Aista. Now, if I save this file and I just open tiger-polterguide.gb.aista.com, then this is what you're going to see. So obviously we have an HTML file served over the root URL of our cloudlet. So let's play around with this a little bit. Create me a 3-column bootstrap based HTML file with some ipso contents. Now, at this point, we're asking the artificial intelligence to do exactly what we told it to do. At which point, after some few seconds, it will hopefully return back to us with an intelligent answer for us. Let's just use this guy and let's just save it and let's just refresh and see if it succeeded. And as you can see, it succeeded fairly well. Let's ask it to create HTML page with bouncing SVG ball. Okay, let's see if it can do this for us. And with some luck, it's going to come back with the required code in order to create an SVG ball for us. Option S or Alt S on Windows to save. Let's see. Well, it didn't kind of like bounce, I guess, but obviously there's a ball. Create marketing HTML page for SEO company. Let's see if it succeeds again. Use, save, and here we go. So obviously the artificial intelligence is capable of generating HTML and also JavaScript code. For instance, if I now open up a JavaScript page, let me create foo.js. And then let me open this file and then ask it to create function that authenticates towards my backend URL using JavaScript fetch. See if it can correctly do this for us. And here we go, authenticate user, username, password, response, and here of course is our URL. If we now did https:// tiger-polterguide.gb.aista.com. aista.com/magic/system/auth. Then probably this would actually work. Username, password. Looks like it. And we can now use this code and we can save it. And we now have a JavaScript file that actually authenticates us towards our backend with the username and the password. So let's use it to create some Hyperlambda. Let's create a module here. Choose the module folder, call it tutorials, and then select your folder and create lesson1.get.hl. The name of the file here is semantic, as you probably already are aware of. If you have tried Hyperlambda, it needs to be named get.hl. And let's now ask OpenAI to create an HTTP endpoint that saves name or email and address into my CRM database in my customers table. Let's see how successful it is now. And here we go. It connects to my CRM database. It uses my customers database. It takes name, email, and address as arguments, and it correctly inserts it here. Use, and then let's save this file and let's rename it to posts. And now, of course, we actually don't have a CRM database. So actually, let's create one. Name, email address, SQL Studio. Sorry. Databases. Let's create CRM database. Let's create it here now. Let's edit it and add a new table called customers. Let's add the 3 columns to it. Name, text, email, text, address, texts. I guess we can now already go to our endpoints here now, and we can find our endpoints. It's called tutorials lesson 1, and we can invoke it. Name Thomas Hansen, email th@aista.com, address Foo Bar Street 57. Let's see if this works now. Try it out. And insert was a success. If we now go back to SQL Studio, we choose SQL view here, and we choose our CRM database, and we do select all from function control space on the Mac or control space on Windows, F5 to execute our SQL. We see it successfully inserted the record into our database. At this point, we can ask the AI to generate SQLite insert statements to insert into customers table the following fields: name, email, address. Generate SQL insert statement to insert 20 customers into customer table the following fields: name, email, address. Let's see what it comes up with here now. And now let's use this thing. As you can see, there's a tiny syntax error here at the top. But here it inserts into customers, name, email, phone. Well, that was kind of weird. So it almost did correct. Now you can rephrase your question. Insert into create SQL to insert into insert name, email, and address into customers table. SQLite. It probably doesn't matter. It's fairly standardized SQL syntax. Then let's create SQL to insert 20 records with name, email, and address into customers table. Let's see what it comes up with now. You do need to phrase your questions very accurately, as you can see. Now it finally got everything correct. It does name, email, and address, and then it adds a bunch of values, at which point we can just use this guy and just execute it, and boom, we got 20 records. Select all from customers, and let's see. And here you can see our example data. So it's very useful to generate example data. If you now go back to HyperID, and we choose our tutorials folder, and we create lesson1.get.hl as our file name, and we ask it to create endpoint that returns 5 items from my CRM database, from my customers table in my CRM database. Click caret return instead of space, so it's probably going to produce a bug for me. But let's see how successful it is, given erroneous input. Arguments, limit, offset, order, direction, operator, customers, customer ID equal, first name, last name, email. Not entirely correct. Let's ask it again. Create endpoint returning all columns from customers table in CRM database. And here we go, limit, offsets, kind of. It's not entirely correct, but okay. CRM, customers, we don't need columns, and use, save, let's try it. And it kind of works at the very least. And of course now we have point being that now we have an HTTP endpoint. If we find lesson 2 here now, let me just verify it by opening up an incognito window, at which point you can see the JSON is being returned. So, and that is AI-based software development. Now, AI and OpenAI and machine learning penetrates throughout the entirety of Aista Magic Cloud, almost regardless of where you are, where you have something that can accept some sort of like code input. You will find an OpenAI prompt, and you will also find it here under Help Center, for instance. How do I send an email using HyperLambda? At which point the model for HyperLambda will hopefully produce the correct code to send an email, and it did. And actually, if we now had configured our SMTP settings, we could just copy the code and go to HyperLambda Playground under Manage, and we could just paste it in, and we could just execute the code immediately, and we'd have an email. And even here, you can ask the machine about HyperLambda code, and you can ask it about the Python. If you go to create HyperID here, and you, for instance, let me create the foo.py, and then I ask it to create Python code to find all prime numbers below 1000. Okay, so let's see what it does now. And here we go. Python code required to find all prime numbers, I guess, from 0 to 1000. You can ask it about Ruby code, HTML code, JavaScript code, TypeScript code, whatever, and it will automatically determine according to your file extension how to display the code. If I ask it again, you see it actually gives me like, you know, Python syntax highlighting here. If I had a Ruby file, foo.rb sits, and then create Ruby code to invoke Microsoft.com. Let's see if it succeeds now. And here we go. Here's the Ruby code required to invoke Microsoft.com. I guess we should add HTTPS to it. So anyways, if you like this video, I would appreciate a comment, like, share, and, you know, subscribing to my channel and all that beautiful stuff. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.